choice.
There are other choices, though, you make. And later on, your son, when you say to him, this is why I gave up custody.
Mm-hmm.
Tell our friends a little bit about that.
Yes, it's still, it's very painful. I was beginning to hit him and abuse him, never emotionally, but hit him. And I was afraid that I was going to hurt him like my father did to me, and I just did not want to do that. I was in an awful marriage and out of control and sort of repeating what my father
Mm-hmm.
did. So I did tell my parents I was doing that, and they said, no, you're not, denial. And so in the divorce, I gave my husband, ex-husband, custody.
Yeah.
Because I was just finding myself in my career. He was a stable lawyer, he had a housekeeper, so I thought that was the best for my son. Yeah. And I did see him regularly 2 or 3 times a week, but in those days it was very unusual for a woman to.
Definitely.
Right.
Yeah.
And I did it for him, though it sounds like I'm selfish and, was self-preservation for both of us, I have to say, to be honest.
And yet it was interesting when the stepmother gets in touch with you, and when you are going through a period where you and your son aren't talking,
Right.
to come see him in a play.
Right. That was lovely. And it was sort of, I saw it as the creative side of me.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't talk to me. He performed in the play, and then I went
Yeah.
to see him afterwards, and he just sort of shook his head. And
But, throughout there are people in your life, they're not always so great. Paul, whom you live with, the chairman.
Oh, Philip, right.
Philip,
You said it. I changed his name, so Paul's just as fine as Philip. Yeah. Yeah, I went for, you repeat cycles, so he was very controlling and turned out to be abusive at the end of the relationship. And I had, it was wonderful to live in his house. I didn't have to worry about expenses, but you pay a price. I had no voice. And so when I finally got my voice, I left surreptitiously.
Yeah. The cancer keeps playing a role in your life. I mean, it's like really the ghoul on the steps that you're always aware of.
Right. And it's both, it's a horrible and a blessing. It's obviously horrible. I went through chemotherapy, mastectomy. I had a metastasis to my bone, when I really thought I would die from that, and didn't. And so every day I know I'm alive. I mean, what else can you say? I'm not, born again or anything, but I guess in a way I am.
Who helped you through the bad spots?
Oh, a support group the first time, a wonderful support group in the hospital. It was unusual. They didn't have that many in those days. And then I would say my writing. There was no question about my writing. In addition to medicine, helped me survive. I wrote my feelings. I wrote in the waiting room. I wrote during my treatments. And my writing was a witness to just not only the suffering, but it gave me control. I mean, the doctors seemed to be in control, but this was almost like a separate voice for me, my strength, my witness.
And there's a wonderful oncologist.
Oh, Dr. Cum.
Yeah.
He is wonderful man, a humanist, a terrific doctor. He has some of my poems stapled inside my medical record, which is like this big.
Yeah.
And he's always asked about all of me, your social life seems bad, your health is good, that kind of thing.
But currently you are teaching creative writing, and is this your first sort of like autobiography?
Yes, well, I've always written autobiography and poetry, but this is the first time it's prose. In fact, this book originally was poetry, and then my agent said, try to write a memoir. The poetry
it's really a classic. I have a feeling you're going to win some awards this year with it, Carol. It's a classic. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Connie.
Would you autograph my book?
Gladly.
And if you'd like a copy of our newsletter, Good Books, send me a stamped, self-addressed envelope to Good Books, P.O. Box 69, 1640, Los Angeles, California, 90069. We'll tell you about some other books we've liked recently. Forgiveness and Child Abuse, Would you forgive me? Lois Einhorn has collected contributions from everyone from Dr. Bernie Siegel to people you will recognize, as well as an interesting book by Toni Bernay and her late husband, Saab Borath, When It's Cancer, the 10 Essential Steps to Follow After Your Diagnosis. 2 books that maybe will help it when you're in that quandary. Meanwhile, look for our column in the Beverly Hills Courier. For us on the web at www.conniemartinson.com. Email us at talksbooks@lycos. We'll tell you about some other books besides these that we've liked recently. Support your local library. Go in, whatever you can do, keep that library open. Volunteer. And if you're in Boston, go visit those wonderful books that are in Copley Plaza, in the Copley Square. What did the library mean to you?
Oh, just wonderful. And I write sometimes in the Brookline Library just to know that my book is available on my website.
And we'll talk another time, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.